Okay, so now the work continues. We've just done both sides and sideline. We've done the leg inversions. So now we're going to move up and work the abdomen and the Hara area. So after we do the leg inversions, we can come in a straddle position. And we're going to do a couple things to loosen up the abdomen and the Hara. So one thing is, since we're in a straddle position and our Hara is over theirs, we're going to take our hands, palm up, and slip them underneath the lower back. And my fingertips are on either side of the spine. And I'm simply going to do a little loosening, so I have the person inhale. And then on the exhale, you just lean back, just so they feel a nice little stretch in their lower back here. So I'm not lifting, but I'm sitting down. Because if you're lifting, you're going to compromise your lower back. So the arms are extended, and you're just going to lean back like this, like you're sitting, just to start to loosen the lower back up a little bit. Because when you loosen the lower back, then you have a little bit more accessibility to working on the abdomen because of the antagonist-antagonist situations. So after that general loosening, we're going to do just a simple stretch. So we're going to reach over and hook our hand. So here's the ASIS. So I'm going to hook my hand right up underneath, and then just going to lean back just to give them a nice stretch. Again, extended arm, body weight going back. You can do that a couple times if you feel like it helps loosen. A lot of times if the person is heavier, which is not the case here, I bring that foot up and stabilize it like this. So it stabilizes the stretch. And if you want to get into it a little bit more, you can just hook your hand and just lean back like this. So you can stretch the lower back out a little bit. So then you just let it come down. And then we're in this knee foot position. Then I just switch like this, and then I can stretch this side. So that's nice, just to start to open up the middle area of the body. And then you're going to come and be on the person's right-hand side. And we're going to work this whole abdominal area. And the area that we're working on is defined by the physical structures of the angles of the ribs. So here's the xiphoid process, the distal end of the sternum. And the angles of the ribs, we're going to work up all underneath the angles of the ribs. And here's the ASISs. We're going to come down to the side and work below the navel, but of course above the pubic ramus. And then back up, this whole area here. So we're going to start just at the end of the sternum. And you watch as they inhale, rises, and on the exhale you sink in, and going only as much as their breath allows. And their next inhale, as they inhale up, you move your hand, exhale, follow the breath in. This gets all the points that we just studied, or starting to study, the Hara points. So their breath propels you around. And you only go in as much as their exhale allows. So you're going to work in a clockwise manner. Okay? So you start here and just go all the way around the circle, down one side, up the other, until you get to the the center, and then you're going to work straight up. So once you go around in a clockwise manner, meaning as you look down in a clockwise manner, you're going to start going right up the center. Excuse me, I'm just going to move this over a little bit. So you want to feel for the navel, and you come below the navel, and you start. So you have them inhale, and on the exhale you sink in and slightly up. So with every inhale, your hand comes out and moves to another spot, and on the exhale, down and slightly up. So you let their breath propel you. when you come onto the flat surface of the sternum, you change and just use the tip of your middle finger to come right up the center. This is the conception vessel, the master yin meridian that runs up the center of the body. And you take that digital compression right up to the top of the sternum or the manubrium. And then from there we're going to go right into compression of the arm. So all the yin meridians of the arm, long pericardium and heart, start in and around the chest and end on the hand. So the transition from working the manubrium is easy, just using the palm of your hand and slipping your fingers right over the head of the humerus, and the palm of your hand fits right in those upper fibers of pec major. And you're just going to lean in and compress. So this hand stays stationary, the other hand works the length of the arm. So these yin meridians start on the chest and end on the hand, and they're in the soft portion of the forearm, with the palm up. And you would want to compress a couple of times, just to get some nice loosening. Now, one nice compression for the forearm is that you stabilize the hand and you use your knee to compress into the forearm. Pressure's okay?
Yep.
And you'll notice I'm right over my work. So you don't want to come at it from an angle, but you want it to be right in front of you so you can lean in. So tonight with the arms we're just going to practice compressing. Right into the hand. Okay? And then those are the yin meridians of the arm, which start in the chest and end on the hand. And the yin meridians are lung, pericardium, and heart. But also there's 3 yang meridians of the arm: large intestine, trip-warmer, small intestine. And to do those, we simply take the hand, the arm, and move back and just do a nice sustained stretch first. And we're going to include a little hand work before we do compression. So we take the hand and just work the hand. Loosen it up however you feel good about it, but I want you to work the individual digits in some similar fashion where you're squeezing the top and the bottom, and then also the sides, and that you take it through some range of motion, just to really work that open. And you can do that with I usually take my thumb and go into the back of the hand and work in between the bones. Just do a little squeezing, little range of motion. And you want to do that with every digit. Even if they have 8 or 10 fingers on one hand, you have to do them all. It's only fair. Now in Chinese medicine, they talk about how the energy flows through the body and how it transitions from going one direction to the next. And at the tips of the fingers is one of the places where the energy changes direction. So after working the hand, you want to do this little thing called stimulating the ting points, T-I-N-G, which are the points at the tips of the fingers. And to do that, you're going to take your index finger and middle finger, and like a scissors, you're going to go over the digit and keep constant pressure down onto the fingers as you pull back. And what happens is you do a little popping sound, and it's the pressure that drags right over the tip of the finger that stimulates those points so that it allows the energy to shift from one direction to the next. So again, index finger and middle finger pressing down, pulling back. compress from the hand to the shoulder for the yang meridians of the arm, large intestine, triple warmer, and small intestine. So stabilize, and we're just going to come up and lean in with our body weight. Leaning in on the exhale. And then to transition to the other arm, we can simply just pick this up, come down to get this one. We're going to go one way. So we're letting her body weight hang there a little bit, which really stretches out the arms quite nicely. And then the biggest challenge is remembering what arm you worked on so you don't work on it again. So I believe it was this arm that I worked on, so you want to put that one down and then come to this opposite side, and then you can go right into the compressions like we did last time. So palm of the hand right in the upper fibers of pec major, and the fingers curling over the head of the humerus, and this hand stays stationary, and then the other hand goes right in the compression, because the yin meridians of the arm travel up, and they start in the chest, in and around the chest, and end on the hand. Include a little forearm compression in there with your knee, just so you get used to using different body parts for compression. Again, these are the three yin meridians of the arm: lung, pericardium, and heart. Next week, we'll get into the specifics of those meridians, their pathway, how to thumb them and bring them and use the source points or balancing points. Tonight, I just want to make sure that we're clear on how to address them through compressions and things. So now we're going to start with the yang meridians of the arm, but first we're going to do some nice stretch down. And then we're going to just work the hand to loosen it up. Work the individual digits like before. Add a little then compression from the hand up. Now these are the yang meridians of the arm: large intestine, triple warmer, and small intestine. So stabilizing and then leaning in with compression. Then the next segment will take us up into head, neck, and shoulders. Okay, but for now we'll just stop with that loosening of the lower back and working into the abdomen and straight up, and then compressing both arms for the yin and yang of the